Thank you, Carrie. The compounded realities or the compounded states or the particled reality is rarely known, isn't it? We can't see, we can't make contact with. Our reality, as it is known through the ear door, the eye door, is actually very, very limited. I mean, really like dramatic, rightly limited. One might use the word gross. Gross. Our reality, our understanding of the reality, and then our relationship, we'll even go further here, is actually gross, which means we're bumbling all over the place, given the truth of the reality. We don't know what's over there. We make assumptions. We have opinions. We bring bias. We bring judgments, prejudice. Why didn't they? How come they did that? And they didn't do this. And how come, right, all day long? Well, this is the cause, it says in the four Dharma seals, of suffering. You are certain to suffer from there. And then why? Because I just made a case for, well, you can't know what's going on across the room. You don't know what's going on across the table. You don't even know what's going on necessarily across the physician's table, right? Guys who we're hoping are looking, seeing, feeling, sensing, trying to know. So why is this? Let's start here. If you didn't see the chapter, I tried to send it to most of you. If you didn't get it from me, also, would you let me know so that I can send it to you? I will do my best with no commitment to getting that to you uh, each week. That's a little bit much for me. But I do want you to know, I do want you to investigate this before. And then I even, if you didn't get this as well, sent you my notes. Did anybody get my notes? Anybody? Some got a group?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Adrian. Um, those I'm going to send out too. Why? It takes me about 5 hours to do those notes. So I want you to use them. I want you to use them. Not everybody is going to read the chapter. I understand that. It will not be clear to everyone. My hope is at least with the notes, you can start to. Did I send? I'll look at chat in a minute, folks. I see you're writing something. Uh, you can break it down maybe at least a little and not get caught in jargon or right. So that's my goal in all of this is to make this as understandable, as digestible, and then of course as usable, because we're going to have a whole set of practices that I also I think included, so you can't forget them when we click off at 8:30. There they will be. Today, these are the things I'm going to invite for you to do. I'm going to look at chat just to make sure I'm not missing anything critical here. Any thoughts or statements about that while I'm looking at chat to make sure I'm not missing something key for someone? You guys all saw mine. Jim, yes. The two carries better than one. No doubt about it. New vaccines are available. I think we do recommendations, Jim. Think are that people, vulnerables in particular, probably start getting them in October.
Well, that it actually COVID now,
Yep.
but the flu ideally because we're on the West Coast and we don't see it till later, it would be best to wait if you could until late October, unless you're going to travel over to their friends on the East, in which case you should get vaccinated. I don't know about Chicago where that lies. That's flyover country.
You know, the hot dogs are sort of like a natural vaccine, is how I've always seen them. If you
Yeah.
can survive a Chicago dog, you're solid. who who needs a vaccine? If you knew what was in those things, you'd know. It's you're good. You're good. You're actually, if you can make it to 70 on Chicago dogs, you got some sturdy in you. I'm joking, of course,
Yeah,
completely.
that's Thursday for me, Di.
Yeah, is where I'm heading this Thursday
Good.
as well. Survived. Yes, glad everybody's survived their procedure. It's actually such good news, isn't it, Dennis, that we have the privilege of getting those things checked because most of the people in most of this world do not. And then what happens? They die of cancers throughout the esophagus, colon, rectum, and others. So, yay, hooray for the privilege to drink that crappy stuff, to
What?
take those gigantic pills, and
Yeah,
to then have a procedure that says I am okay.
yeah, it's a royal flush.
It's a
Royal flush.
big time and good for us all. Who couldn't use a few toxin releases there? So good for us all. Are you sending chapters of the book we got? I did, Jean. I don't know if you saw it. I did send part of chapter one. I don't think I sent the whole thing because we're not going over it today. We're only going over two of the Dharma seals. If you didn't get it, let me know because I offered to send it. I will not be sending. I don't want to commit.
No, and I was confused because I have the book, so I
Yeah,
don't
I
really have.
just sent
Okay,
it out. I don't know who has it and who didn't. So
thank you.
I talk about royal flush. I royal flushed the Sangha with here's a copy to get you started. It was not easy to read. I did not fix that. I just sent that, and you guys worked that out. I have confidence. So no, I will not be routinely. I just wanted to get everybody started. The notes will continue to go out. If I'm going to spend all that time on it, I'm going to get it sent your way. I cannot commit to that before the day before our, because I usually do that kind of note taking after reflection on the weekend, after reading it a couple times a week before, and then I'll chew the notes and then send those out on
Sauerkraut.
Monday as best I can. That yes, I thank you for appreciating the time. It's important to me because I think these teachings are important, and I think if we don't really get them, um, it's the consequence and the cost is to all of us, isn't it? And so my confidence is that you will use them in the very best way. Yes, I'm glad they were helpful, Robin. Whoever didn't get the notes, Jean, I'll make sure you do. Yes, it is a good book. It's a hard book. Once again, there's a lot of language in there. We can get a little stuck. We're going to unravel that today. Okay, glad to see. Sauerkraut on the dogs. No, though that is a the Polish neighborhoods in Chicago, and there's quite a large Polish, as you know, Dennis, faction. Actually, the Poles do put sauerkraut on their hot dogs, and actually more. Libby saying it sausage, and so there's a bratwurst that we throw sauerkraut on. We love sauerkraut in this house. I think Libby's the exception. I think she tries. Um,
I just
but
have to say, it's not every Sangha where you get to talk about sauerkraut,
sauerkraut
colonoscopies,
and hot dogs
and hot dogs. Thank
and
you.
vaccines, and that's exactly right. It is true. Why do I take the time? Because I'm doing it on purpose. This is not an accident, Jean. I love that you're saying this. Why? What's the reason? Why am I talking about hot dog, sauerkraut, vaccines?
We're householders. We're
You're
normal,
a householder.
everyday people.
Thank you.
It's our life.
Yes, we're a householders group doing householder things. If we do not honor the challenge and the difficulty of being a householder, we have missed a big boat. Monastics are not trying to decide what to eat. They're not trying to decide what procedures to get. They are in a very small, highly protected, beautifully guarded, by the way, beautifully guarded, but that's so that they can devote their entire lives and every thought, word, and deed to the Dharma. We have the harder road. And it's important to name it, right? This thing or that thing. Are we going with this or are we doing that? Are we traveling or we're not traveling? Are we wearing a mask or we're not wearing a mask? how are we living these complex, dramatically lives? Okay, so here we go. We're going to get into the 4 Dharma seals. You could say, anybody come up with a different word as you were reading for seal? I would say truth.
Hallmark. Mm-hmm.
Somebody said hallmark.
Yes.
Hallmark. Yeah. A milestone. Right. What else would you say? I said truths. 4 essential truths. What else might somebody say?
In my dog world, I'd call them markers.
Markers. Exactly correct. Markers or marks is a word actually used in the sutta. There are marks of existence. These are a few. What else might somebody call these? How about guides? Could anybody see that term? A guide. Somebody could even say a measuring tool. We could measure the truth and our holding of the truth according to this particular rubric. We could also say complete. These are complete. According to the Buddha himself, he says, as long as these 4 things apply, you are in and living the Dharma. These 4. Can you see why Sodargi started here? He is saying, if nothing else, if you don't get anything out of this book, if you can apply these 4 characteristics, these 4 guides, these 4 measuring instruments, these 4 to everything, and from our point of view, and from Siddhargi's point of view, these should be applied to everything. Guess what? Before action. Essential, yes. Before you act. In fact, the 4 seals says, if you have not applied this doctrine, if you've not applied these rules or guides, you are likely not acting. In and through the Dharma. Not likely acting in and through the Dharma. Now, when I looked at them, I thought, well, I know these. Did anybody else say this? I know these. I already know they're true. We all know they're true. And we, as a group, essentially do not struggle with knowing the truth because we've talked about these a lot in various ways. So we know the truths. That's from here. And then the question I will ask, and I'd like hands, who applies them in every moment? Any hands here? I don't see any hands so far. Got any hands, anybody? Come on, feel free. There are no hands. Little man, not even little man, because he gets a little lost, as we know. We've watched him on Saturdays, right? His little brainstem gets taken over on occasion. He is not applying the 4 conditions, right? This is the, yeah, we're laughing out loud too. The truth is, it is understood that the bodhisattvas, the thing that we all are in the training for this, and it has not been perfected, right? It has not been perfected. We aren't looking for the perfection. We are looking for the aspiration. Does everybody know the difference? We're looking for the aspiration, right? Not the result yet. We understand, don't we, that just the applying of the aspiration is itself a first beautiful gift. We then understand the second greatest gift. Does anybody get any ideas about what that would be? The first is the aspiration itself. What would the second gift as it relates to the 4 seals and all of the trainings, but specifically these, what would be the second best thing we could do? Anybody? I heard Libby already. I'll say it in a second. What's the second best thing we could do once we set the aspiration? Because I want to make sure we get this before we practice today. Second best gift you could offer. No debate. Libby said it, practice them.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be? If you just know them, isn't that? If you knew them, could teach them and understand them, it would still not be sufficient, would it? It would not be sufficient. If you're not willing to embody, practice, fail, practice again, says the Tibetan tradition. It's a continuous, right, revolving Dharma wheel. And the Dharma wheel is first that you hear it, that you recognize its truth, that you then, in its recognition, look at the little orthogonal rotations each time. And then you're willing to apply, and then you're willing to fail because it's guaranteed and certain. I love that part. We didn't even make it to 6 o'clock. I already feel better. We're going to fail in it, but we're going to re-intention, re-aspire, re-study, relearn, rehear, over and over and over. And it says this is the complete turning of the Dharma wheel. Does that make sense to everyone? And so then when we would say, I just didn't get it, can you see how gross a misunderstanding that would be? I just didn't get it. You just locked yourself up in one of those orthogonal rotations. Well, I didn't set the aspiration today. Sure, set it now. I didn't read the check. Sure, read it now. I didn't reflect on it before I spoke. Sure, reflect on it now. This is the actual turning of the Dharma wheel. Otherwise, we're stuck. The wheel is stuck. We're going nowhere because we go, well, I didn't get it. She said to read it, I didn't read it. She said to practice it, I didn't practice it. And so forget about it. It's not true because every moment is what? Simply filled to the brim with infinite, it says, potential to awaken now. And so what could we all do just right now? Write into chat. What could be a thing you could do based on where you are right now in the chapter, in your practice, in your life? What could you do? I'm looking right, Libby. She's smiling, so I know she's got something. What could you do?
Drop into your body.
Drop into the body. Just know how you are right now. That would be a thing you could do. What else could you do to turn the Dharma wheel? Feel it in the body. Yes, thank you. Carrie says it too. What else? To open one's heart. Yes, you could open your heart to the fuck up of the whole thing. You could go, gosh, I could start again. I got it all wrong this morning. I yelled at my wife. I didn't make her the tea. I kicked the dog. Okay, Dharma wheel moving right now. I'm in recognition and I'm going to begin. Now, recommit, yes, to the intention again and again. Begin right now. Set my aspiration. Right, again, begin again. No problem. The turning of the Dharma wheel. As long as the wheel is in movement, we are on the Bodhisattva path. Does everybody get this? As long as the wheel's in motion, and look at all the points. It's infinite, isn't it? I could just start right now. I could just forgive myself right now. I could open my heart to the fact that this is harder than I ever imagined it would be right now. I could, instead of blaming myself for all the things I didn't do, I could just begin again. Janine said I could restate the intention. Let me just be here now. Completely open, receptive. Yes. Okay. So we get this. I wanted to say that first because this is not going to be our easiest book or chapter. There's a lot of work in it. So I sent in those notes, I sent an opening aspiration, and I'd like someone to read that. I'm going to ask, as I said last week, each week that someone read the opening aspiration and someone read the ending dedication for the teaching, for the study. I will do the ones from our practice. Anybody like to read the opening aspiration?
I will.
Particularly someone who's not done it before. I don't
Oh,
know who that is, but please.
that was me, but I'll step back because I've done it.
Oh, Jim, yes. Anybody else want to read it? Jim read it last week, so he
Yeah.
wants to create space for others if you want to do it.
I can
Somebody who hasn't read before, who might have that in front of them. Let me
I
see.
can read it.
Is that Courtney?
Yes.
Yes, Courtney, thank you so much. If we could just take a moment, ground ourselves into the body so we can hear what Courtney is offering. Thank you, Courtney, anytime.
May this gathering open our hearts to what is true and healing. May we see impermanence without fear, understand suffering without aversion, meet the self without fixation, and glimpse the peace that is beyond extremes. May any goodness here be of benefit to all beings without exception.
Thank you so much for that. Did anybody see anything familiar in that aspiration? Take a look at them. What's there? Anybody?
The benefit to all others without exception.
Everybody wins. And everybody wins from your try, which I love. They don't have to win from your success because you may not get there, at least not in the way you thought, hoped, wished, wanted, clung, craved. But they're benefiting from the very reality that you chose to be here. And I want us to remember that also because we have a tendency to be so harsh. And then we read a book like this and we go, uh-oh, I am some distance from this reality. And it actually is not true. You are closer always than you know, just by your willingness to be here, one. And the second then is to be open to hear the teachings. And the 4 Dharma seals are written right into that offering. And so I want to look at them for just a second. May we open our hearts to what is true and healing. That's the point of the 4 seals. May we, and often called, the opposite is called the truth of suffering. If we are not open, we're not looking, we're not sensing, seeing, we know that we are in suffering. And that's the first seal that we'll go over also. May we see impermanence without fear. We're going to talk about that because we frequently don't look at impermanence. We look for permanence. Anybody notice this habit? We look to secure. We are looking to ground. Look how popular that word is in our healing wellness. Grounding. We're looking to ground into something. This 4 seals practice says no, the path and the practice is to recognize the insubstantial, impermanent particles, unfixed, non-separate reality of everything. And to call it out, which is what we're going to do this week. We're going to look to where you think something is solid, and we're going to recognize and call out its ever-changing nature. Because we grip, grab, right, and hold to that. We'll understand suffering without aversion, and not turn away, but turn towards the truth of it. To meet the self, non-self is another one of the seals. To meet the self without fixating, establishing a separate, because the minute you fixate the self, you're a separate self, you're a suffering self, and to then rest in what is very consistently and has always proven to be true for me, infinite peace. There's no doubt about it. It's right here for us. Okay, so then we're going to start on part 1. If you have your notes, please take a look. It says, setting the frame. What makes the Dharma the Dharma? These 4 seals are the criterion for the Dharma. Does everyone understand that the Dharma is understood to be the essential and relative truth? It carries both. Does everybody know that? It actually carries both. It isn't an either or truth. We sometimes go, well, relative truth is this, universal or absolute, or is that. These 4 Dharma seals apply to all truths. The Buddha taught these teachings. He said, of all the teachings, the teaching, we already have reviewed this, of impermanence is the most important. Anybody know why? The teaching of impermanence. He didn't say interconnectedness, by the way. He did not say that.
I guess, well, because he said that's the one everybody avoids.
Yep, because that's the one no one likes. That's the one everybody runs from, closes down to. You can't grasp at it. We do grasp, thank you, Courtney. We do tend to grasp, anybody notice this, at the truth of interconnectedness? Don't we all love that? We all smile a little more and go, yeah, that's good. It's not just me, it's me and everybody. We're all in this soup together, and we smile, and then we go about the business of not attending to the truth of suffering. We do a little more kumbaya there, and then go about our day as according to the Buddha, drunk. If you don't first apply this first seal, and the first seal is that there is suffering in this world, and the suffering is caused by our avoidance, by our denial, by our rejection of the essential truth of impermanence. There is suffering, and the suffering is the result of the reactions that we all humanly and vulnerably have to the truth of impermanence. I'm going to sit with that with you for a minute. Does anybody see an exception as you reflect on your own distress, your own pain, your own fear? Anybody see any exception to that? All conditioned or composite, these are the words used. Another word is compounded. Did anybody see that word in the chapter? You would have seen words like this. They would all mean in their composites, in their strands, particles, everything is made up of infinite other things. That's the interconnected part that we like, that are though constantly changing, constantly falling apart and coming together, constantly in dissolution and then in reforming. That it is a continuous, ever-present process. Jim would say death is every moment. And when I say it, what happens for you? Everything dies every moment. I'll even make that a bigger statement. And just sit with it for a second and see what comes up for you. And so what do you notice when I say that? Everything is dying every moment.
The first thing that came to me was all that they said at the same time as there's rebirth at the same time.
Libby said, what I thought of was what the chapter also says is that it is happening so quickly. And then he even goes on to talk about quarks and zoptoseconds and nanoseconds. And it is actually happening so fast that the truth is there is nothing just dying. That in its dying, it is already automatic. It is this. It is again being reborn. Now, some of us will take some kind of pleasure in that to go, okay, whew, okay, at least I'm not gone. At least there's something. At least, but it is not quite true. There is no me that was solid, fixed, stable either. You died too. And I want to sit with that truth. You died from that second I just said it. You are not the same at almost every level, not just those particles, right? We don't even have to go all the way down to the quarks and the yoptoseconds. The truth is, your hair's not the same, your eyes aren't the same, your skin's not the same, right? We know the truth of this. And what do we all do with it? What do we do? Run,
Grasp.
grasp, ignore, distract, entertain.
Try to give what we can.
If you're in a moment of awakening, Dennis, you might. It isn't mostly accurate, and it's possible. We could, and we mostly don't. Now, I'm not saying this with fault finding. I'm not saying this with judgment. I'm saying this with, if we can recognize the truth of our suffering, we can right now begin to free ourselves. Which would mean we'd have to be willing to say, yes, I'm even doing it now. I'm even doing it now. This is not the failure. This is the beginning of the turning of the Dharma wheel, isn't it? I'm doing it now. I'm making plans for later right now. I'm thinking about breakfast soon or lunch later or what else I've got to do right now. It says this is the cause of your suffering. Do we understand? And then we call ourselves what? Back to this present moment. Again, and can I just then be here with the wish that I could make it to breakfast? And the answer is yes. Couldn't we? Just be here in that little grip with the idea that I hope I get a couple more minutes to get to those hot dogs on Thursday. So without the recognition that everything is particled, everything is composite, everything is compounded, everything is connected, then we can say, but not before understanding that it's all going and coming every moment. What then would you be distressed about? If you knew this one truth, if you really knew it, I mean, like knew it to the bone, what would distress you? Anybody? We didn't even get through the other three. You just hanging on to the one. Everything in its birthing and dying composite, coming and going, here and gone, gone and here, nature. What would, and you knew it, and in fact, not only knew it, saw it everywhere and everything, and we're going to do it this week. I'm going to look everywhere for this. What would be where would you be suffering?
I don't really like it.
I don't like it. Why don't we like it?
It'll be gone soon enough.
Why don't we like it? Because we bought in to the belief that what? There is some way to solidify it. There's some way, if I were strong enough, young enough, good enough, enough, smiling enough, enough, then I could secure it. Is it true? It is so not true. There's no truth in it. If I could only something, there must be something. We're all saying. If I prayed enough, if I did enough good deeds.
But then you're not actually living in the present moment.
That's right. And Libby just said it before I did. That would actually mean you're not in the present moment at all. You're securing what? You're already in the present moment. Which one are you trying to secure?
The
This
future.
one. The next one, and the next one, and the next one. Guess who's not home now? Any of us. We're all up there by one click. Going, if I could only get a hold of it and get to breakfast. Well, breakfast isn't here. Breakfast is maybe, and very possibly not, a concept, a myth. We would even use the word delusion, wouldn't we? We'd say it's nuts that you think you're getting there. It's crazy that I think I'm getting on the plane on Thursday. Now, it doesn't mean that in our relative truth, we aren't planning for possibilities, because doing nothing, it says in the book as well, is nihilistic and no improvement. It is also a denial of the reality of this interconnected life. It's nihilistic and not any improvement. And it says, and there's another problem, we can ignore all this altogether and just think everything's rosy, and that's just as crazy, isn't it? Would be just as insane to go everything rolling along, no problem, everything's great. That's also not true. There are challenges, even in the Dalai Lama. I'll use them and then we'll go on. The Dalai Lama was crying in a lecture upon hearing from Tubten that one of his friends, a 90-plus-year-old monk, had killed himself. And I think this is even on video somewhere. And the 90-plus-year-old monk had killed himself because he wanted to come back. He believed in rebirth so strongly that he wanted to come back because he had realized in his 90 years he had not perfected one of these teachings. And he had said to the Dalai Lama, I want to die and I want to come back because I want to get this right. And the Dalai Lama essentially said, you, as a friend, you can't do that. You can't push the Dharma forward. You have to live it. There is no just get me somewhere else, right? Which is just as greedy. Can you hear it? Just as craving. You could see where the suffering was, right? Just as solidifying of an identity to go, well, I failed in this one, so I'm going to start over. And he was talking about these four seals and said, what a complete misunderstanding. What a complete misunderstanding. That somehow if we could only skip along or skip some of the steps or get it faster, better, and aren't we all doing it? We're all doing it. If I could only get from here to somewhere else, that would be the end of suffering. And in this teaching, it says, no, you wouldn't. You have to really fully be just here. In exactly the grip you've got, in exactly the bias you hold, in exactly the Dharma you don't get. That this is actually the improved path. And then we're not clinging. We're just saying it's like this. I'm hooked like this. I wish like this. If, right, and now not suffering in it. But it was a very poignant moment. Are we understanding why the first essential Dharma truth, all conditioned phenomena are impermanent, is so important. Is there anybody who just doesn't see how this applies yet to suffering? Yes. Who is that wants to get somewhere or live forever? That's exactly right. He missed the point, didn't he, Greg? He missed it. He had decided that he was solidly this failed monk and that he needed to throw that all away and begin again to get somewhere else. The truth really is exactly this. Had he been able to see that he had locked up around that very identity, he would have been freed. He would have been freed to go, there is no old monk here. There is no old monk who didn't get some Dharma, because the very recognition of it is the path. Now, by the way, when I say the path, I don't want you to mistake that to mean now I get it all. Now I get it all. We have a tendency to do that. It does mean I'm recognizing the cause of suffering. This is the path to the end of suffering, but it's a path. It doesn't mean it all goes away. So I just was talking with my son, Tanner, who was very sad for a moment because the whole birthday party thing fell apart. And right. And again, composite things in there coming together and falling apart. And he said, with his face, I don't want to be happy about this, or how am I going to be happy about this? And I said, oh, that would be a misunderstanding. You don't have to be happy about a difficult moment. This isn't the practice. The practice is to accept that I'm holding on to something in it, that this is where the difficulty is, and you're just wishing there was a party still. And it's okay, because just the recognition that you wish there was a party points directly to why you're giving me the Tanner face, right? And he said, well, this is a difficult moment. And I agreed. This is a difficult moment. And I agreed. Why? I don't like the truth of this reality, because we don't always, do we? Could we just begin there? I don't like the truth of this reality. By the way, the next day he wrote me and said, I think I was the difficulty. How amazing is that? Now, what he really meant was, I think I saw how I was causing my own suffering. I was quite impressed. He first started with, there is a difficulty and I don't like it. And the next day, he got it. He said, I think I was the difficulty. Now, by the way, that is not true for me. I did not see him as my difficulty. I think he saw that that was his difficulty, that he was, in fact, the architect of his suffering. And so if we could all see that, can you feel the way it can free you? Even in the acknowledgement, it can free you. Like, I don't even have to keep sticking myself in the eye. I can just say, in this moment, I'm in recognition. I'm getting it. And then came to, I guess I'm going to end up having 2 parties, because we're going to do it again. Hey, and could now start to even see a possibility. Now, by the way, composite things, I don't know, right? But the aspiration is still there for celebration and for care. We get what we're saying. Okay, setting the frame. What makes the Dharma the Dharma? All conditioned phenomena are impermanent. We're going to hang on to that this week big time. Then it goes on. I don't love the word, but I'm going to use it for a minute. All tainted phenomena are suffering, unsatisfactory, and dukkha. Tainted, can we imagine another word for tainted? Anybody got another word? Let me look in chat.
Biased?
What, Robin?
Biased? Like
Bias would certainly be a part of it. Yes. It would include some part of you locked in on preference, bias, opinion. It means it is, what would be the word? Imbued with your craving. Some craving, some wanting, some not wanting quality of mind.
But why did
is
they
what
use
it
the
means.
word things? That's what confuses
Things
me.
are all composite
So all
realities.
phenomena, so
Everything.
all
Thoughts.
changes and phenomena are suffering.
All phenomena are suffering because they're not inherently suffering.
Right.
They are suffering because they are tainted, and they are tainted by our ignorance, our clinging, craving. Not even, says the Buddha, it isn't that tainted is your clinging and craving. It is the ignorance that it is occurring. You are missing, just like Tanner, the truth that you are in clinging, craving, aversion, or in one of the hindrances. Somebody wrote that, also called kleshas. Does everybody get this? We are stuck. It is tainted by expectations. Well, a little, that's a thought part, but the nature is we are trying to form it, solidify it, get it, keep it, or get rid of it. Even we're going to talk about change in a minute. Tainted by this limited mind. Tainted by this limited mind. And Robin used a word like bias. Now we've got Courtney saying expectations. Yes, the egoic me that wants and doesn't want. But it is the quality of that mind that taints. It is not, says the Buddha, the craving impulse. It is not just the impulse. We're going to have them. They're going to come. They're going to go. The impulse to eat, right? The desire to eat is there, and they use very basic things and the understanding. Except the taint is a quality of mind that would look something like, I should have food. That would be the taint, not the eating, which would just be right, just a part of it, just a part of this human enterprise, but the I should have food. And then we go on. I should have good food. Let's go on further. I should have organic food. I should have food that's only been cooked a certain way. I should have food that doesn't have skin on it. I should have food that is prepared with love. I should have food, right? And then you can feel it, can't you? We can feel that essential grip. So that's the tainted. It is a quality of mind, not the nature of this human life to need food, right? That's just but this contamination that says, I am entitled by virtue of me, Greg said, being me. Me being me. I'm entitled to this. And then we realize how often we do it. Right? Then do you recognize every moment as some kind of taint? It should be like this, it should be like that. There shouldn't be traffic. I just heard this for the 50,000th time yesterday. I was like, oh no, suffering. There just shouldn't be. Really? Why? Because it's 8:30, and at 8:30 most of the kids are in school, so the traffic should be gone. Really? Okay, maybe not. And the suffering, that is, it shouldn't be here because I don't like it. That's why, right? And then we see how tight and small and contracted and pained, don't we? we get. And then does everybody recognize the cause of your suffering? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. That grip, that grab, that preference, that want, that not want. And remember, the Buddha himself says it isn't that caused it. It's the ignorance, the refusal, the denial that's the cause of suffering. You're actually blaming the traffic, right? You're blaming the cold tea. Look how confused it is. Not the me, mind. I don't even want to use the word me. The mind that goes, it should be hot. I should have it with stevia. It didn't come. And look what we do with Starbucks. We feed that ego, right? Did you ever see anybody at Starbucks walk out with the wrong order and walk back in as if the world had ended? Yes, you did. Literally. Like, how could this have happened? Well, there were 2 bills, Bill. You just picked up the wrong bill. That's how that happened. How did it happen? Well, because this is the nature of all composite things. We're going to stop there. I'm not going to go on to the others because it's too much for us to take. Are we getting this idea? And now you clearly see I'm just doing it all day long. I'm all day long in preference, wanting, and remember, let's not blame that nature of mind. Let's blame the mind who does not continue to remember. This is simply an arising and passing moment. Should equals judgment, that is for sure. And from the book then it says, the seals are a hallmark, a stamp. I liked that word. A kind of like validation, like bing, this is the way it is. Confirming authenticity. Integrating them is more decisive than merely taking refuge. I want to say that again. Integrating these Dharma truths is more decisive than taking refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. That's simply what? The aspiration. These are the marks, the stamps that will free us from suffering. The aspiration is good, and holding these is better. And then from Bhikkhu Bodhi, one of my favorite guys, the Dharma is a teaching of principles to be realized for oneself. The seals are the principles. Realization of them is, I would add, the continuous task. Realizing them is the continuous task. Otherwise, we imagine 50,000 lifetimes from now. And then one of the practices we could invite is to silently name which seal most challenges you today. I don't want to do that. That was a suggestion. I would like us to name the change that we are resisting. The change that we are resisting. I wanted it like this. It's like that. The one I am resisting. What is the change you are resisting? And then part 2, seal 1, impermanence. We're going to talk about this and then practice. There are coarse and subtle impermanences. Did everybody get the difference? It's pretty straightforward. The coarse one is the one we can see in constant change every day. You buy a flower, you give it to your wife, the flower dies. Right, there you go. Now, by the way, I get that one pretty well because those things are cut. Guess where I struggle? I plant a tree, I go back out there in a month, the tree's dead. I'm like, what? How did that happen? We got a blueberry out there, I don't know. That's not doing so well either. I can't figure it out. I am in some distress. Why? I don't think the blueberry should have died. I was watering it. What the hell? Right? But you can already feel it, can't you? The refusal, rejection of that essential Dharma truth gets you every time. Yep, everybody go do what you need to do. So that is the coarse realities of change. Those are easy for us to recognize. By the way, what else are they? we are accepting generally, right? You go, well, I cut the flower was going to die. I cracked the egg, there it goes. Can we think of a billion? Like, that's just the way it is. You wear the clothes get dirty, you take them off, that's what happens, right? We have some coarse acceptance of change, right? And then the subtle realities, not quite so accepting. Can anybody think of one? More subtle change that we are not.
The cell changes in the body.
The continuous cell changes in the body, says Libby. We don't recognize them. We don't remember them. We don't. And so then when the body is in any imbalance or shift or change, what do? Something is wrong. Something is wrong. This shouldn't be happening. But it's continuously happening, right? It's just in a way we don't like or want. If the egg did not change due to heat, it would not cook. That's exactly right. The egg is changing whether you put it on the heat or not. To tell you the total truth, you didn't need to cook the egg. You could have just cracked the egg. You didn't need to crack the egg. Actually, what's true? You didn't need to do anything for change. Change was occurring anyway. And the course understanding is some influence, impact, right, engaged reality with change, or the ones we see so often. The sky is a different color now than it was when we started. We are accepting of this, aren't we? Okay. I think we've got the idea. I'm going to look quickly to see if there's more. I really wanted to hit this home today. I don't want to go further because I just don't think we like the essential first Dharma seal. I think we're going to resist it. I think we're going to fly right by it and intellectualize this whole thing in a way that I think is going to be dangerous. Well, let me say, it is going to be in a way that's going to perpetuate our suffering in a way that I just don't want for us. Can we feel the struggle? I hope you can, because that means you're waking up. If you can. If you can't, that means you are likely in some critical denial. That somehow this applies to something else, not me, not a thing I really care about. And we tend then to turn towards the things we like to solidify, like the house I'm sitting in, the couch Libby's sitting on, Libby herself as some kind of solid. What a mistake. What a mistake. Why? And then we're going to practice. Why is it a mistake? Besides that it's not true. That's the first one. It's just not true. And the first one is, it is guaranteed to cause your suffering. First of all, not true, and guaranteed to cause your suffering. And so we have to stay really right here in these essential two, don't we? The truth of suffering, and then the understanding of its cause is the denial, avoidance, resistance, the taint of the reality of everything in its changing.
So you could basically just say the non-acceptance.
Non-acceptance. Resistance is the word we frequently use. And the word the Buddha uses as getting ready to sit, the word the Buddha uses is ignorance. Ignorance. The ignorance of these realities at play. Okay. All right, so let's get ready to sit. And then we're going to sit for at least till 8:20 something. And then we'll read our final dedication. And I think we started exactly the way we needed. It is not to run through this book that is our goal. It's to really rest in that essential reality and the resistance that we have to it. So feeling our feet as they are established on the floor, you can allow, if you choose, the eyes to gently close. Taking purposeful and intentioned breaths, at least 2 or 3. If you read the notes, you saw a particular quote by Roshi Joan. We take the posture with a soft front and a strong back. The soft front is the acceptance of these essential Dharma truths. We breathe them in, we integrate them, and we let them transform us. And the strong back is actually a part of the result, that we become stable, that we are no longer caught in the worldly winds being tossed here and there by cravings and aversion. That we are essentially supported by these Dharma realities. And then touching gently into the feet, seeing how they are the seat, feeling the ever-changing, by the way, weight of the body, fluctuating every breath. This body actually bouncing off of the chair in its particle as much as it is in the chair. And look how we have solidified even this. And for a moment, we're going to notice the transient, impermanent, and constantly changing nature of the breath itself. You may mistake the breath as continuous, and its truth is otherwise. It is continuously changing. Texture, frequency, length, temperature, and on and on. There is no continuous breath. And so that very quip, as long as I'm breathing, everything is okay. It's okay as long as we know it's continuously changing. Can we recognize and then abide this essential reality of change in this very breath? coming and going. Cool and warm. Dry and moist. Short and long. Smooth and jagged. And it is continuous, not fixed. And so we abide the breath itself to come to understand the truth and the cause and the reality of impermanence. And the suffering, we can begin to get a very clear sense, is the grab, the resist, the push away, the cling to of any part of that reality. Everything changing, every breath, everything changing within each breath. All the way down to the yaptoseconds, the zaptoseconds, so fast that coming and going are the same moment. We could do the same with sensations in the body. All the way from the gross to the subtle. We could open and include sounds. Or thoughts. Or emotions. This is a place of big work. We tend to experience our emotions as us, as stable, as fixed, as permanent. They too are ever changing. Everything like a wave, moving in and through and out in continuous change and flow. Can we let the flow come and go? We could invite then the reminder, changing. This will be part of our practice several times a day. No matter what you see, hear, feel, touch, changing. This is a moment of change. May I receive it with an open heart. Offering this especially in these moments of difficulty. But in this week's practice, let's offer it several times. This is a moment of change. May I be open-hearted, kind and gentle as I open to this reality. And then when we notice that moment of grasping, can we remember, as Greg was saying, there is no I to grab it. There's no solid me. There's no fixed Diana or Greg here at all. Simply a moment arising and passing. We can liberate not only the objects that we demand permanence from, but we can release and liberate ourselves as recognizing no one me, no one I, nothing permanent, fixed, or mine at all. I too am the wave. And then we let go of all of the concepts of permanence or the wave and rest back in that vast open space where all things are in their brief and brilliant appearance, and we smile. Enjoying the show. We recognize that we too, not just the view, but we too are the phantom, the dewdrop, the bubble burst, the lightning bolt. We too are a part of that ever-changing reality. impermanence itself. And we smile again. May we have some insight, some curiosity, some willingness to explore this reality of change, of impermanence. May we see with deep compassion, with an open heart, the cause of our suffering and the suffering of others. And with some tenderness, some ease, may we invite peace for all beings. For all beings, may there be happiness, health, and freedom from suffering. And may this practice this very day contribute and may continue. So be it. And so for this week, we have a few key pieces of practice. One of them is to look for change. And there's the gross or coarse level of change that we'll talk about a little more next week, but there's also those subtler moments of change. Can you use those coarse opportunities to investigate further? Where is this subtle, this body totally different than just the moment before? Can we call it out? This body in aging, this body in balancing, imbalance, in its constant change, right? Everything in its constant wave or flow. And then look for where you might get stuck, would be my second instruction. Can you see where, no, I just want it to be permanent. I just want it to be fixed. And then can you see and feel the grip? Can you feel the grip? Is it of the thing? Is it in your own body? Is it some mind quality? No, 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 no. I just want it to be no traffic. And can you feel the truth of that suffering? Because it is alive in you that moment. It is not merely a mind state. It is not true. The body knows suffering by its grip, by its contracted, by the Shenpa grip. I want you to drop in on it. And then we can reflect. What am I holding on to? What am I refusing? What am I resisting as being a part of this essential Dharma seal? And then with compassion, right? We don't reject, refuse, and get harsh. We go, may I recognize this? as a moment of suffering. May I recognize this as the moment of suffering, not the traffic. It's just not true. And then if we don't understand this, what's the problem? We cannot find the way to the end of suffering. If you keep going, if only there weren't any traffic. And so we have to look very directly at it, don't we? And our habit for it. Does that make sense to everybody? Does it feel like a workable practice? You should be able to do it really continuously from my personal point of view. I'm guessing I'm going to have a load of opportunities. Yeah, that's exactly right, Greg. As we recognize the not wanting and the wanting, the something else, the not wanting this and the wanting the other thing, can we recognize this as a moment of suffering and feel for ourselves? This would be a beautiful moment of awakening. Anything else we say before we get ready to leave? We're going to do our prayer and our final. I have a final. Did anybody see that dedication? You'd have to go back in the note a little ways, but let's say that as we. Anybody can get a hold of it. It starts with by whatever goodness. Anybody get a hold? Lynn, can you do you locate that?
Yes, yes.
Lovely, lovely. Could you read that for us, and then I will move right into the Bodhisattva prayer as we get ready to ring the bell.
Sure. By whatever goodness has arisen here, may suffering be lessened, clarity increase, and compassion flow. May all beings know safety, health, ease, and liberation. May we meet each moment with wisdom and love.
Thank you. May I be a guard for those who need protection, a guide for those on the path, a boat, a raft, a bridge for those who wish to cross the flood. May I be a lamp in the darkness, a resting place for the weary, a healing medicine for all who are sick, a vase of plenty, a tree of miracles. And for the boundless multitudes of living beings, may I bring sustenance and awakening, enduring like the earth and the sky, until all beings are freed from sorrow and all are awakened. May we all find peace. May there be peace. So be it. Thank you all so much. I took 2 weeks to go over this chapter on purpose. I really wanted us to understand what our practice and our work is going to be. And so next week we will use the same notes for the review of the full 4 Dharma seals. I want us to begin with recognizing and having infinite compassion for ourselves and then for others, as we recognize that we are all in some resistance, some refusal, some ignorance around the true cause of our suffering. You will not inform anyone except yourself of this truth, and by living it, you will be the Buddha. So thank you all so much for that. You're so welcome, Robin. Blessings, benefits, ease, and happiness to everybody. I look forward to seeing you next Tuesday I will be back from Chicago, coming back on Monday, and we will be in the garden and on Zoom on Saturday with Jessica, who is going to come into the garden to lead. So we will all be here together. I think it's so important that we do this. Recording will go out to you. If anybody, again, can't find the chapter or the notes, let me know, and I will get them sent your way. All right, everyone, I know everybody's got places to be, things to do. Yes, to Jessica for willingly stepping up. I know we have some people out. I know Greg won't be here, Jim won't be here, but there'll be plenty of us here on Saturday. And thank you, Lynn, for navigating Philabelly for us one more time. I'll be talking with you about how to get our things your way. On Wednesday, we will definitely do that. All right, everyone.
Safe travels. Safe travels.
Thank you, thank you, thank you very much for that.
Yes.
I look forward to seeing my brother. Be well, everyone.
Blessings.
Greg will be here on Thursday. Look forward to that.
Yay.
Yay.
Bye, buddy. Bye, buddy.
Safe travels for you, Diana, and always in prayer.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Big hugs to you and your family.
Thank you.
Eat your.
Sounds like a fun time there with the dogs and the games and the. I was just
crazy times.
I was just thinking how your father-in-law Jim loved the